Hi, this is Jason. Today I'm going to read from Floki's Army, Chapter 24, Chapter 25, and Chapter 26. Chapter 24. All you can do is all you can do. Sometimes Jason needed to take his own advice. Not always. Paula was a perfectionist. It made her very good in the world of fine dining. Details were never missed. It sometimes made things more difficult in other areas of her life, though. Everything had to be perfect. Over the years, Jason tried to convince her that in many cases, you just do the best that you can do. That would have to be good enough. Perfection is not always on the table. How is Floki and his army going to close down all the substandard dog breeders, clean up the industry, and stop people from treating dogs like disposable items? Well, he and Jason were not probably going to be able to do that, at least not for a while. They were going to have to just do the best they could do. Floki's suffering had value. People could learn about the realities of substandard breeders, puppy mills. They could also learn how to care for these dogs if they were to adopt one. Many people will start telling these stories to friends and acquaintances. People don't care if they don't know. Instead of being disheartened, Jason decided to use what he had. Hopefully it would lead to more opportunities. End of Chapter 24. Chapter 25. Floki's Facebook page. Back to Facebook. Now it was time to make Floki's Facebook page. Initially it would be used to spread awareness about substandard breeders and to educate people about the realities of the puppy industry. Jason also wanted to offer advice on how to care for surviving breeding dogs, hoping that with some advice people might be open to adopting the few survivors, just letting them finish out their lives with some happiness. Setting up Floki's page was pretty easy. It was basically like setting up a personal page. You just needed to name it. Jason had already decided upon the name Floki's Army that Susan Reed had coined just a few weeks earlier. The name was excellent as far as Jason was concerned, but it wouldn't allow people to know what the page was about without going to it first. How about Floki's Army putting an end to puppy mills? That should do it. Hopefully it would draw some people to the page who had never heard of Floki but were interested in doing something about puppy mills. The first task was to choose a profile picture and a cover photo. For the profile picture, Jason chose the picture that they saw online of him at the rescue. The cover photo was one taken about 6 months later, with Floki looking like a different dog. He had some fur and did not have that frightened look in his eyes. Not everyone would know what a Shih Tzu should look like, so the profile picture would not have an impact until there was something to compare it to. There was quite a contrast between the profile picture and the cover photo, and that's what Jason was looking for. He wanted to make an impact on people without scaring them away with horrific photos. He wanted to shock people. If he wanted to shock people, he could just show a close-up of Floki's eyes. That was not the approach he wanted to take. There would, however, be a fine line to walk when it came to illustrating the cruelty at substandard breeding facilities without going too far. As time went on, Jason would get a feel for what people could handle and when they would prefer to look away. The first group of followers already knew Floki. In fact, they seemed to have bonded with him. Jason realized that it was harder for them to respond to the post concerning Floki's injuries and health issues. When there was a serious post discussing things that happened to Floki, and likely to have happened to many other dogs, people shied away. It was almost for them like seeing pictures or hearing stories about their nephew or even their own child. It was too painful. They had a connection. It seemed to Jason that their love and respect for Floki was not about what happened to him, but what he had overcome. This would help guide Jason in his approach. Jason ate a lot of eggs. Sometimes he would put cayenne pepper on them. If he would put just a little on his eggs, it really gave them some zest. If he put too much on, the eggs were intolerable. They could hardly be eaten and would definitely result in a runny nose and watery eyes. He would have to be careful not to add too much cayenne pepper to Floki's page, or people were bound to have runny noses and watery eyes. It may become intolerable. Jason also learned from his personal training clients that you had to let them be part of the plan. If they were involved, they were more likely to remain clients longer, and therefore positive changes would occur. They would also refer their friends. If Jason kept people up to date with Floki's cough, for example, they would be concerned and stay engaged. They would feel part of Floki's armies. His followers knew who Dr. Hansen was. They thought of him as a hero. Some posts were just of Floki being cute. Some posts were more serious and intended to educate people. Some posts would be current news stories of puppy mill raids or new legislation being passed regarding the dog breeding industry. From time to time, there were news stories regarding rescues that claimed to be saving puppy mill dogs. Jason soon discovered that many of these rescues were making false claims in order to generate millions of dollars in donations. This especially irked Jason. Under the guise of being good people, doing good work, they were bilking kind-hearted people out of their money. There was a lot of money involved. If only that money went to the people who were actually helping, imagine what could be accomplished. Many of these rescues would show pictures on Facebook and their websites of beautiful dogs that they claimed they had rescued from puppy mills. If that is what puppy mill dogs look like, then what is the problem? Some of these rescues could be looked up on websites that rated charities. If you read through the reviews, you would see many wonderful comments made by the people who volunteered for the rescue or adopted from them. The negative reviews came from people that were either in the rescue business or people that were just more informed. Unfortunately, those reviews were lost in the numbers. While researching these fraudulent rescues, Jason came across a few articles written by a woman named Kim Cabin. Kim was a journalist for the Huffington Post and several other publications. She wrote several articles exposing some of the very rescues that Jason was suspicious of. She had also written several books, one that Jason found to be especially informative about the business of selling dogs. The name of this book was The Dog Merchants, and it had a website to go along. Kim's extensive research shed light on some of the things that Jason suspected and opened his eyes to things about dog breeding and sales that he had never imagined. Her articles were sure to be shared on Floki's page. She was the type of person that he needed to learn from. Over the next several months, Jason had the opportunity to speak with Kim on the phone. He also spoke with one of the owners of the largest dog auctions. He became acquainted with Ida McCarthy from the Companion Animals Protection Society, and even spoke with the owner of a large puppy brokerage. Jason needed to hear all sides before he made any decisions about who to believe and who not to. Some of the friendliest people he met were the most dishonest. He would not rely on other people's opinions. They may either have been fooled by the dishonest ones, or were just plain old dishonest themselves. When reposting some of the news stories involving rescues and their illegal actions, there would often be a backlash from people that supported these groups. Jason knew that he was just posting what they had already written and had no problem continuing to repost these type of stories. He knew that he would need to be careful, though. It was going to take a while, but Floki's Facebook page was getting started. It would certainly evolve into something bigger. As much as Jason would like to save every dog suffering in a mill right now, he would have to be cautious with each step forward. He knew that this is why their boy survived all that he did. He had a purpose, and even though it wasn't completely clear now, it would reveal itself as time went on. End of chapter 25. Chapter 26. Floki, the Flokester, Flokman. Such a lovable little man. He's been called a lot of names over the years. Little Fighter, ST5, That Little Bastard, Colonel, and of course, Floki. He has always been Floki, though. His name means a heroic Viking, and that he certainly is. He still struggles with health issues, but you could never tell from his demeanor. He celebrates every moment as if it were his last, knowing that it very well might be. At the time of this writing, Floki is an estimated 14 plus years old. He will be 15 on April 7th, 2020. On April 7th, he will be celebrating 3 years of freedom. He is not finished yet. Floki has set his goals and achieved them throughout his life. He has defied all the odds. He will continue to set goals for the future and will never stop dreaming. He dreams that a story will be made into a movie. He also would like to meet Caesar Milan. He just likes that guy. An appearance on the Ellen DeGeneres show would be nice too. He believes that it would take events like these to get people to finally care enough to do the work that needs to be done. Dream big, little Viking. The beginning. Thank you.